Lindsay,
Yes.
hey, this is Beverly doing a quick check-in. It looks like you had been online looking at some homes in the Aurora area.
Yes, I've realized it. I don't think it's in our budget.
Oh, gotcha. So what you're seeing as far as meeting your expectations is higher price than where you want to go?
Yeah, because I'm thinking Whitby is going to be the winner just because we're in Toronto right now, and I want an area with good schools, great for families, and I'm looking to upsize the house a little bit
Okay.
because we're only in a bungalow and we don't need too much space, but a nice backyard, nice kitchen, which we don't have now, but for about $800,000.
Okay.
And I think the problem with Aurora, what I'm seeing is it would be like a lateral move, like the same price as what we would get for a house, and I'm looking for mortgage free, which would be awesome.
Yes, it would be.
And I could almost do it with Whitby. I think.
Change your market location. Ray, do you work the area? I just muted her.
And I think they're both the same distance, and I need go for my husband who works downtown.
Okay.
That's but does Aurora have Go?
Sorry?
Does Aurora have a Go station?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have Ray. You're way better off talking with Ray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change. I want to have Ray change the listings that you're receiving, because right now you're just primarily focused in the Aurora area. And, you know, I think the most important thing is, it sounds like you have a home to sell, correct?
I do. I have a home to sell, and it's not the perfect home, but it's location, and I have that covered.
Okay, perfect.
So a home in Don Mills on a corner.
Good girl.
Not kidding around, but it'll be hard to leave. That's the thing. And I'm also still working on my husband, and I think with everything that's going on, we're a year away from that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying. I got my kids on board. My husband at first, when I proposed this idea, said, "No way, Jose." But was raised by a salesman, and I've been showing him the facts and showing him what's going on. And
well.
I'm slowly getting there to the point that he's like, if it's what my family wants in a year, we'll do that as long as we throw out half our house.
Wonderful.
Because we have 2 kids.
I gotcha.
What you got to do when you sell, like that's, you know, so that's the time, and we wouldn't have to remodel. We would just have to do a fresh coat of paint and declutter. But with everything that's going on, and a child that's 5 and a child that's almost 13, that's not easy right now. So
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Well, and this is a good time, like, you know, to your point, to do your homework. So we'll get the location changed so that you can really pay attention to what's happening with the prices.
Schools? Like, I have a friend that lives in Whitby. That's why I know a lot about Whitby. I have an aunt. Now, she lives in Sutton, and that's why I like Aurora, because that's closer to her, and that's on our way to our family cottage. I believe really bad with directions.
Yeah.
But how is Aurora for schools? Do you know that? Or was that Ray?
Yeah, I personally don't. That's going to be a Ray question. And, you know, and as far as schools, we have to be really careful on what we do tell you in regards to, we can give you our personal opinion.
Yeah, I know.
But, you know, it's one of those things where we could give you our opinion. It might not match yours, kind of thing.
I got you. I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's good. Well, no, I've learned as being a parent too. Like that's why I'm in Don Mills, because it's close to our family, and I live literally 7 houses away from a school that my nieces went to. That is an amazing school. It's a French school. We got this house before we had our firstborn. Our firstborn ended up having a different style of learning that made me have to fight to get him exempted from French and move schools and never take French. So it's made me learn, you know what, you have to find the school that works for your kids. And I live in an amazing neighborhood with good schools, and I drive my kids to Don Mills and Steeles every day to go to an art school. Well, when there is school.
When there is school.
So I have learned that. So I understand what you're saying, and I wouldn't, yeah, I know some people take one opinion as gold and then say, well, you told me the wrong thing. No, I get that. And I would do my own homework on that too.
Perfect. Well, what I'll do is I'll have Ray make sure that we get your search criteria changed, and then he can just follow up with you, you know, in a couple of days, and make sure you got the email, and then he can answer any questions that you do have. Okay.
And and I'm actually going to start maybe in a month or so, and I don't even know how the banks, my husband works for TD, but downtown, so I have to find out even how it's working for mortgage advice. I'm actually going to get to the point to find out if I sell my home for $1 million, which I think is a low ball. I'm hoping is a low ball quote, but I'm thinking that's like I feel for sure.
Yep.
If I sell my house for $1 million with what we still owe on the mortgage and all that, what could we afford to be, you know, cut our mortgage in half and stuff. So,
and Lindsay, I so appreciate this conversation because you get it. You know, there's so many people like, I just want to go see a house. And well, there's so many dynamics that come into play that you want to know what you're going to walk away from your home. You want to know what's going to meet your expectations in a purchase, and does it make sense? And
thank my father, who passed away, but was the #1 salesman in Canada for franchise restaurant.
Well, he taught you
that well. So I did listen to my dad when I was a kid, but as an adult, and being the only person in my house that doesn't have a real estate license when I was a kid.
Yep.
I get it.
Yeah, you're well.
My husband doesn't get it, but I'm making him get it.
Well, yet is the key word. Yet. Hang on to that.
And then careful what you wish for, because
truth.
My 12-year-old is a built-in salesman and actually absolutely awful to take to toy stores because he upsells and doesn't give up. So,
oh gosh.
There you go. And I know as a salesperson, you would be able to appreciate that moment.
Yeah, that's too cute. That's too cute. Well, Lindsay, it has been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. And you can watch for an email from Ray, okay?
Thank you very much.
Oh, you bet. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I love her.
Wow.
That was a good conversation. She was very involved. You can tell that she wants to make this happen. And she's trying to pull all the strings to see what her buying power is. And
Ray, you got her lock, stocked, and barreled, and that's going to be a double ender. And I don't, you know, whenever they say the areas they live in, I don't ask because I know that you know the area. What is it? Wood what?
No, Don Mills.
Don. There was something. Don Mills.
Yeah.
Did I spell it right?
Yeah.
All right. So that's where her home is currently, right?
Yes. But what she's looking for is definitely she can find in Aurora.
And that's where I opened up that, you know, communication to where you can send her an email and follow up with her. So she's waiting for your phone call in a day or two. And she does have more questions that I think you can go a little bit deeper with her in that conversation.
Because I think she was looking like either Aurora or Whitby, and it was really schools were important to her.
Whitby, that's what it was.
Yeah, because her son has special needs as far as learning goes, and I think Whitby might be less expensive than Aurora if she's looking to like.
And I think that's what she was realizing. That's what she was seeing. And you know, the one thing that Ray is going to be important to find out from her is what's more important, location or price, and that's really what's going to make those determinations of.
She was leaning more toward. I think the education or the school was more important for her.
Yep.
Yeah, which I think she can find. Hey, with all due respect, but I think our Aurora schools are definitely has a higher ranking than anywhere else, I would say.
I love Dion. She's like, this is amazing. I can't wait to jump in and call leads.